All right, let's just jump right in. What's the absolute weirdest job you would take if it meant you could wipe out all your debt? I'm serious, really think about it. Is there a line you just wouldn't cross? It's a pretty wild question, and it sets the stage perfectly for one of the most unique stories I've come across in a long time.
So today, we are unpacking the absolutely fascinating world of Morning Glory Milking Farm. And look, it's a story that kicks off with a problem that is painfully real, but it takes it to a place you just never expect.
So, first, let's meet our main character. Her name's Violet, and she's a smart, well-educated woman who is in a situation that, honestly, is going to feel pretty familiar to a lot of us. She is completely drowning in debt.
You can just picture it, right? That classic anime scene. Violet's staring at her window at the rain, bills just scattered all over the table. She's got student loans wearing her down, and the very real possibility of having to move back home with her parents. She is desperate for any way out.
And then, boom, a notification pops up on her phone. It's this job ad, and it seems almost too good to be true, doesn't it? No experience needed, great salary, flexible schedule, even full benefits. The title's a little vague, milking technician, but honestly, at this point, Violet could not care less. She just hits apply.
So the interview process is weirdly simple, like almost suspiciously simple. After a quick video call, they invite her to the facility for what they call a final assessment. She shows up at this place that looks like a cute, modern farm, but they lead her into this sterile classroom and tell her the last step is just to watch a few training videos.
Okay, so this is it, the moment of truth. What in the world is this job? The lights in the room dim, a video starts to play, and this is where the story just takes a complete left turn into something else.
On the screen, there's this super cheerful woman. She's kind of got fox-like features, and she's giving a tour. And then the camera pans to the lobby, and we see the clients, and they are all minotaurs. Just huge bull men sitting there, waiting patiently. The video goes on to explain the farm's special bi-level collection rooms designed just for them. I mean, you can just imagine the look on Violet's face, right? Her eyes just getting wider and wider as she tries to figure out what she's seeing.
And then, the big reveal. The woman in the video says it with this huge cheerful smile. An opening in the wall slides open, a minotaur penis appears, and she gets right to work. So yeah, let's be super clear here. This is not a dairy farm. Morning Glory Farm's entire business is collecting semen for minotaurs, which, get this, is a key ingredient for a huge pharmaceutical company's erection-enhancing pills.
Now look, I think most people would probably be running for the hills at this point. But Violet, she really needs the money, so she takes the job. And with some help from a super friendly coworker named Kurame, who happens to have antenna, she starts to learn the ropes of this very, very strange new world. What's so interesting is how the farm actually categorizes its clients. First, you've got the earners. These guys treat it like a serious side hustle because they get paid based on how much they produce. Then there are the pop-and-goes, or clock watchers. They're all business. They want to get in and get out fast. And then you have the good little cows. These are the clients with a very specific milking fetish who are really into the whole fantasy of it. So Violet's training is over, and she's finally working her first shift all by herself. She's a little nervous, obviously, but she's ready, and that is when a client walks in who is going to change pretty much everything for her.
You can just imagine this as a full-page anime shot, right? The focus is all on this incredibly imposing figure. He's really well-dressed, messy brown hair, big horns, and this striking gold ring in his nose. You can tell immediately he's one of the clock watchers. He just radiates this intense, no-nonsense energy.
That's it. Those are the first words he says to her. His voice is deep, no small talk, just straight to the point. The whole session is super efficient, totally professional, but then right before he leaves, he puts a crisp, perfectly folded $100 bill on her workstation. And that's our first little hint that there's probably more to this guy than meets the eye.
So, what starts as this purely professional and, extremely bizarre relationship with this Minotaur, whose name she finds out is Rourke, it starts to change. It's a slow burn, but it builds from a simple transaction into something way, way deeper.
You can basically see their whole story right here, in 3 acts. Act 1, that gruff, all-business first meeting at the farm. Act 2, they run into each other by chance at a coffee shop, and they see each other as, people for the first time. And then Act 3, Violet takes some time off for a family thing, and when she gets back, Rourke makes this incredibly heartfelt, vulnerable confession. He just tells her he missed her.
So this completely bonkers job doesn't just fix Violet's money problems. It actually opens up a whole new life for her. She falls in love with the little town she's moved to, and she finds a new passion for historical restoration, a career she can actually afford to go after now. And through it all, she finds this incredibly supportive, loving partner in Rourke.
You know, Violet's journey started from a place of just crushing debt and pure desperation. It led her to a job that, let's be honest, sounds like the setup to a punchline. But that exact path led her to financial freedom, a career she loves, and a life she never, ever could have imagined. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe sometimes the weirdest roads are the ones that actually lead us right where we need to be.